Not first. Not first. The water's tasty. On my lunch break for a job that Paul's neat bashing pressured me into applying for. Hey, look at you. Look at you, buddy. Out there in the workforce doing your thing. Swinging that big dick around. TJ and Scotty and all the pets and everybody involved, wives, are all out of Louisiana. So, there you go. I don't know about effective. I mean, we'll see. Yeah, so hurricane that is making landfall as I speak here in southeastern Louisiana, on the fucking anniversary of Katrina, is a Category 4 storm as of right now. It's gonna make landfall here in like minutes. Well, if it hasn't already. Big, nasty storm. The kind of storm that I was always like crossing my fingers wouldn't develop, 8-10 times a fucking season. I don't know. I don't like calling things X 2.0. I think that this one is likely to be closer to Hurricane Camille. At least it seems like I'm thinking back on the hurricanes that have flown through the Gulf that I can remember. I remember Camille swinging east and hitting like Mississippi and or not Mississippi, Missouri and all that, well, whatever the fuck, to the east of, I remember it hitting the Gulf Coast to the east of Louisiana about this strength, so. Yeah, not Missouri. TJ continuously is saying, like, I need to move out of here. I need to move out of this place, blah, 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 blah. And he hasn't yet. Maybe this will be the catalyst for him finally getting the fuck out of there. The last, not this year's hurricane season, but last year's hurricane season is what finally did it for me. I was in the path of, I think, 6 major hurricanes. That was just the ones that hit, that I was in the path of that year. I was like, fuck it. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. I'm out. Oh, my ass had to get the fuck out of that state. Let's just put it that way. Multiple reasons, but very high on that list being it's just a fucking nightmare there, like weather-wise. So I don't know. We'll see if this, spurs TJ on to move his ass out of there or what. Yes. Louisiana is going to be taking a beating for the next week or two. Today will be a big, nasty, horrible storm, and then for the next week or two, there will be people without power, without water, without all kinds of shit. It's gonna be fucked. The people that didn't get out of there, it's gonna be fucked in that area. Take my word for it. One of the things that I learned how to do living in Louisiana for 3 some odd years is kind of eyeball these hurricanes and know which ones are going to do a whole lot of fucking damage. And really all you got to do is look for that eye. That's what TJ taught me. He's like, you know, they'll talk about a tropical storm or whatever, but you look at it and if the eye is barely visible or whatever, it's probably fine. But this one's got like a fucking land somewhere, fly, and see what happens. Land somewhere where I can fucking see you and see what happens to you, buddy. Got a little something for that ass. Where you gonna land? Huh? Buzz me again. Good morning. How bad is the humidity in Louisiana compared to states like Washington and Oregon with the humidity index? You can look it up. I've never felt humidity like I felt when I lived in the Gulf. Never in my life. I've never been any place on the planet. Maybe there are places that rival it or exceed it or whatever the fuck. I'm sure there are. When it comes to my travels, I've never been in a place that was hotter in that way. Like with the humidity index, it'll take the breath right out of you the first time you feel it. I'll never forget the first time I landed in Louisiana. This was back when DP was still going. Me and the guys were moving to looking into moving to Louisiana. We flew down there to check out houses and shit. And I remember getting off the plane, walking through the airport, picking up our bags, and then walking out into the open air garage. And when those fucking double doors came open, that was my first taste of it. And it almost fucking knocked me over. I was just like, you gotta be fucking joking. Just that swamp ass fucking, it's horrible. It's horrible there. Fuck that. I sit here and I roast in this heat fucking every day. And I'd rather be here than there. Roast me in this 100 fucking plus degree heat that we're gonna have today, Daddy. I'll take it. I'd rather sit out here in 100 degrees in the shade than in Louisiana at 88 degrees with fucking 90% humidity. Fuck that. I was born in Michigan, and I wish again that I was back in the town where I was born. Yeah, hurricanes actually make the humidity and shit worse. It's like a humidity storm. So, like, you think, oh yeah, the hurricane's gonna cool it off. No, it just brings warm, piss warm water and more humid fucking shit. It. If you've never experienced it, you don't know it. What up, meds peds? Did you get the fuck out of Dodge? I hope you did. I hope you're not still chilling in fucking Louisiana. Okay, good. Good. That would have not been a good idea from the looks of things. Most of my friends and family stayed. I don't play past Cat 3. Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I wouldn't even play with a Cat 3. I mean, there were some people in Grand Isle that stayed. Mm-hmm. Like, Grand Isle is probably fucking 8 feet underwater right now. Yeah. People are on their roofs.
Some people just have to stay. They don't have the gas money to fucking get out.
Yep. These types of things always come up when there's big hurricanes. Why don't people just move on out of there? And it's just like, man, easier said than done. Easier fucking said than done. It's doable, but it requires people to literally fucking blow up their lives in certain cases.
Like if you're someone that's barely getting by and you're staring down the barrel of, I get like $100 of gas to get far enough out of the storm and get a hotel room and fucking.
Yep. It's fucked. There's just no good answer for a lot of people in these areas. Can't watch right now, but thanks for the hours of laughter and the years of content. Thank you. I mean, just moving is hard. It's not simple. Moving is not a simple thing. It always costs more than you think it's going to cost.
Unless you just bring like nothing and just start all over again.
Yep, you just ditch everything. But even then, if you bring nothing, you've got to buy everything that you didn't bring. Mm-hmm. You've got to replace everything. A lot of places won't take pets too, which sucks, dude. Fucking Scotty and Taylor, I can't even imagine, dude. Mm-hmm. They've got two dogs, both of which are pretty fucking insane, and 3 cats. I can't even imagine.
And you gotta imagine every hotel within like a 100-mile radius is completely booked.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Paul, do you think civilization is on the verge of total collapse, or do you think this period of instability before a new golden age? The former. I don't think that we're on the verge of collapse. I think that we're experiencing the collapse. I just think that everybody expects it to happen like it's a movie starring The Rock, like it's San Andreas. That's not how it happens. Too much movie thinking.
We might not be lucky enough to even have like a big simultaneous nuclear war. It might be like a couple people launch nukes and it takes weeks or months or even years for other countries to hop in.
Who the fuck knows? That's what I'm saying. It's just like people think it's all going to happen right at once, and there's going to be like some
cataclysmic event.
Yeah, that everybody can point at it and go like, oh yeah, now the world's ending, and it's just like, no, the world's been ending. If you consider the world to be a continuation of our modern life and the way that it has been for our parents and our parents' parents, the world is ending, bro. We're living through it. It's just like I said, it's not fast. It's not fast like people expect it to be. It's slow and agonizing. It's like the unraveling of a sweater rather than the explosion that people think it's going to be. It's like slowly but surely somebody's tugging that thread and the sweater's starting to come apart at the seams. Good old Weezer knew it, dude. If you want to destroy my sweater, just pull this thread as I walk away. Most collapses are usually slow and gradual. Yeah, take a look at the collapses of certain other civilizations. So you want to look at the collapse of a civilization, look at the collapse of the Egyptian civilization, which went through, was collapsing, was eventually conquered by the Greeks, and then collapsed again under their rule. That's why they called Egypt and Iraq, the whole Middle East, the graveyard of empire. Because every place that, Afghanistan is known as the graveyard of empires now, because of every place that's tried to fucking hold on to these areas ends up, destroying themselves. And you look at Rome. A Roman civilization, it didn't just like fall over in a day. It slowly rotted from within, like ours. Slowly but surely lost the ability to maintain civil relations with its population. There were wars on the outskirts that weakened the empire and drained the coffers so that there was nothing left. There were this increasingly opulent upper class and this increasingly poor and malnourished lower class. Am I talking about Rome or am I talking about United States? You tell me.
We've only been around for a few hundred years.
Way less time than fucking the Roman Empire. Way less time than the fucking Egyptian Empire if you, run it through the Ptolemaic dynasty or whatever the fuck. Yeah. No, we're due. This is how it happens. Slowly but surely. Pull a little thread here, pull a little thread there. Arguably, after the Dark Ages, the fall of Rome, we entered the Renaissance. We also hadn't discovered nuclear weapons yet. We also hadn't discovered plastic yet. We also hadn't discovered the internal combustion engine yet. We also hadn't discovered fucking mass strip mining, fracking, or fucking oil sand drilling yet. So yeah, there's similarities and there's differences, right? One of the reasons why our civilization is collapsing at a rate that would be considered incredibly fast if you look at these others is because of those things. The mitigating factors that make us different from Rome. It's not necessarily that we're different mentally, where you could take a person now and, like do an autopsy on a Roman and a person now, and really the only thing that would tell you the difference would be the microplastics that you would find in the body of the fucking modern person. We're the same human being that existed during the Roman times, but we have functionally created this technology that allows us to interface with the world in more destructive ways than the Romans could ever hope to. We've destroyed the oceans. We've destroyed the atmosphere. We've destroyed the ozone layer. These are all things that didn't happen when the Roman Empire collapsed, which left some kind of fertile soil behind for the Renaissance that you're talking about. the rich will survive the collapse. I wouldn't be too hasty about that. I was chilling in a Twitter Spaces chat room the other day. I wasn't talking. I was just kind of hanging out here and kind of passively listening. And I remember the conversation went to like, oh yeah, man, the rich can't be touched. The rich can't be touched. The rich can't be touched. And I was just like, guess I'll keep my opinions about that to myself. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, I disagree. And we'll leave it there. Safety going forward in this type of a collapse is an illusion. And they may be able to mitigate some of the worst of the early parts of this, but when the shit comes down, when the showdown comes, it's every man for himself. See your point. All I'm saying is there's a difference between a collapse and a total extinction level collapse. Right. Well, let's look at the differences, right? So the Roman Empire was dealing with bureaucratic inefficiency, debt, massive state debt. It was dealing with this same kind of oligarchical problems that we have now, where a shrinking aristocracy had most of the money and the power and the influence, and then everybody else was just kind of a pleb. All right, so those types of things are indicative of societal collapse, right? And we have all of those indicators right now. The massive wealth inequality, all of it, everything I just mentioned. We've got it all. And that's one aspect of what we're dealing with. That was the entire aspect of what the Roman Empire was dealing with. The Roman Empire was dealing with bureaucratic rot, bureaucratic inefficiency, oligarchical control, overspending, overexpansion, all of those things that we're doing. They were doing all of that. But we've got this whole other realm over here where our technology has developed in such a way that our pursuit of those things, our expression of those same problems, have led to another area of problems that the Romans couldn't even have fathomed back then, which is we've grown large enough and technologically advanced enough that we're affecting the entire globe. So now, rather than it being just a localized empire problem for Rome, it's a global problem. So we take all of these problems, bureaucratic inefficiency, oligarchical control, mass fucking, conglomeration of wealth and power in the top 1% of people, and then everybody else is just scrambling for the crumbs. You take all of those problems that led to the fall and then eventual rebirth through the Renaissance of, civilized human expression, and you add it with everything that's over here in this column. Acidifying oceans. 90% of large ocean fish are already gone. This is not something that's gonna happen. This was years ago. We're talking like back in the late 90s, early 2000s. They were talking about how 90% of the large ocean fish that should be stocked in the oceans are gone. Acidifying oceans.
Plastic in the ocean.
Plastic in the fucking oceans. Giant storms. Massive influxes of people fleeing these coastal areas as it gets harder and harder to live. Wildfires. Wars and rumors of war. All of these things are an outcropping of this other. So we can learn from looking back at ancient civilizations, but we're not the same. Leaving out half the story, yes, this tech is destroying the planet, but we now have access to tech that can counteract some of this. You think so? The magic machine? Where's it at? Why isn't it churning away already? Because if you listen to the scientists, we're already past the point of no return. So where's the magic machine? I appreciate your optimism, I guess, but where's it at?
Wow, we have giant vacuums sucking the carbon out of the...
Yep. The magic machine doesn't exist, man. It doesn't. We don't have time. Maybe in another 200 years of deliberate fucking trying, we could undo this. But we don't have time. That would require the entire Earth to stop doing what we're doing and focus our entire fucking, like, human resource. Any natural resource that we can get, any human resource that we can find, the greatest minds in the world, all working unfettered, unencumbered by fucking capitalism, unencumbered by the profit motive to try and save the planet. If we did that now, we still might not make it. And I don't see it happening anytime soon. So the magic machine is bye-bye. You can give up on the magic machine. It's not happening. How do you think the future will look, Matrix or Elysium? Neither. Mad Max. Mad Max, bro. That's how the future's gonna look.
Although there might not be enough gas to make.
Yeah, Mad Max minus the cool-ass cars and shit, because there ain't gonna be none of that. Not magic machine. I'm talking about tech greenhouse farming, 3D printed homes that act as carbon sinks. Are they building them in mass anywhere? Like, the clock is ticking, bro, is what I'm saying. Like, I get it that there are technologies and theoretical technologies that could mitigate some of this shit, but where's the time? Right now, as I'm speaking, no joke, there's a Category 4 plus hurricane hitting Louisiana as a result of global warming. Massive intensification of these fucking storms. Huge movements of people. Where's the carbon sink houses? Where they at?
Like last season, they went all the way to like Iota or some shit because they ran out of names.
Yep. Not to bring it up again, but can you imagine the race car generation being in charge of this? It's over, bro. No, I know.
No, TJ and Scotty already got out. They're okay.
Yeah, TJ, Scotty, the family, the animals are all out. They are in a safe place, so no worries. I know, I agree. So let's get people motivated to make the time. It's cool to be negative about this stuff, but that solves nothing. I don't think it's cool, and I don't think that you're solving anything either. You're like, in fact, I'll be honest with you, dude. Your line of thinking, the magic machine is coming and everybody just don't worry about it, leads to people into a false sense of security about what's actually happening in the world. When you tell people that all we got to do is just put on a happy face and wait for the magic machine, that's what leads to people just continuing to live the way that they're living, dumping fucking tons and tons of plastic into the oceans, over extracting every natural resource that we rely on. That's what leads people to just keep doing that. Oh, it's okay, the magic machine is coming. I've talked about this a billion fucking times, by the way. The magic machine principle. Oh, they're going to invent some fucking thing that sucks carbon out of the air. They're going to invent some kind of fucking technology that just literally sucks the plastic out of the ocean. Great. Where's it at? When's it coming? Hopefully 10 years ago, because that's when it was needed. I'm not straw manning you, bro. You can, I want you to keep paying me though. So, all right, I'll continue with this. I'm saying work together to adapt, to change the way they live. Deep adaptation. When, where, from what source? When, where, and from what source? When's the magic machine coming? When's this big sea change of fucking environmentalism coming? When's this bright green future coming? Because I'm ready. I'm ready for the windmills and the fucking solar panels and the cashless society and the whole nine. I'm ready for it. When's it coming? It's not. It's a lie.
They're building more oil pipelines right now. They're drilling more oil right now, mining more coal.
Everything that's destroying the world, everything that's destroying our ecosystem and the animal populations and the human populations and the environment is doubling down right now. We need more. We're extracting more. We're fracking more. We're building new pipelines so that we can suck more oil up out of the ground. Cutting down more of the Amazon rainforest. Cutting down more of the Canadian forests. We're strip mining the planet. So while your optimism is appreciated, you're going to have to show me something on paper if you want me to come over here and paint people a rosy fucking picture. You're going to have to show me some kind of fucking growth out of this, other than just like, oh, the magic machine's coming. Sorry, dude. I don't play magic machine roulette. And even if the magic machine was coming, it's coming 30, 40 years too late. The magic machine needed to be kicked on about 40 years ago when I was born. That's when they started blaring the alarm like, oh, fuck. Environment's collapsing. Rainforest is disappearing. Weet, weet, weet. That's when the magic machine needed to be flicked on. It's 40 years late and it's still not here. And everything we're doing to destroy the planet is being escalated. So you tell me, whence cometh the optimism? Dude, a huge percentage of the population, if you ask them about this, like, yeah, it feels like the end of the world is coming. That's probably the best you're going to get. I'd be willing to bet if you went man to man, woman to woman, child to child, all across the planet, that's probably the most common answer that you would get, or some variation thereof. Feels like the end of the world is coming. Coming? People aren't even aware it's here.
People are on the complete opposite, where it's like, we should invest in immortality right now.
Yeah. Or whatever. People, like, there's a bunch of people that I talk to that get all optimistic with me, and they're like, what about Mars, man? I'm like, Mars a fucking dream, bro. Pessimist Paul. At this point, I'm being a realist. You tell me how we're getting to Mars in the next fucking 5 years. I'll wait. Can't even colonize deserts on Earth. Yeah. Where are the big, giant, flourishing biodome cities in the middle of the Sahara Desert if we're so good at fucking geoengineering and colonizing and shit? Should be able to put a big old biodome in the middle of the Sahara, right? There should be tons of them. Big, open, empty spaces. Hell yeah, let's do it. Not a single one exists, though. Yeah. Earth is going to look like Mars before we ever set foot there. You're absolutely fucking right. Box Thought thinks we're living in a summer schlock film where there's a predictable happy ending. Yeah, Paul Giamatti's working on an earthquake tracking technology that's gonna help us stave off the apocalypse or whatever the fuck.
It didn't even work in the movie. I mean, it's hard to tell exactly how much time passed, but maybe like an hour.
Yeah, not
max.
if that. It was terrible. It's not gonna happen, dude. The magic machine that should have been turned on 40, 50 years ago is never going to be invented. You're all fatalists. Say what you want, bro. I just haven't heard anything out of you that gives me any kind of view into where your optimism is coming from. And you've got, you don't have to pay me to talk. I'll read your chats here. If you've got a long one you want to throw out. I mean, you can pay me to talk if you want, but I'm waiting. I'm willing. Do you think I want this? Because if you think that about me, if you think there's some part of me that's like, yeah, I want suffering. I don't, dude. I love people. I don't want people to suffer. I don't want little kids and old people to suffer. I don't want anybody to suffer. And I don't think it's necessary. That's what makes it even sicker to me. Proactive in what way? Just saying that be proactive, that's like what your third grade teacher tells you. You know what I mean? That's not, we're dealing with a problem that's complex and ongoing. And what you've given me is, they're going to invent something. They're going to come up with a way. Too late. Listen to them, and that's just me parroting the scientists. And that's it. That's not even my opinion on it. That's scientists. It's too late. We're over the hump. Even if we all just became bright green little zero carbon footprint people, the collapse still happens. Climate collapse is happening. We're living through a mass extinction event. You know, those things that you read about in fucking anthropology and ancient history and biology? We're living through one. Whence comes the positivity? There will be collapse, but we should try to prevent total collapse so we do not go extinct. Well, you better get about disarming every nuclear fucking missile and every nuclear silo all over the fucking world, because are you forgetting about that? As people get desperate, as natural resources become scarcer, like water, for example, these fucking weapons that are dotted all over the landscape of America and the USSR and China and India and Pakistan and every other fucking goddamn place, they cry out to be used. And they will be.
They understand them enough to know like how far away it's supposed to be to keep the water still drinkable.
They cry out to be used. And they will be. You think we built this arsenal of weapons to just let it rot in the ground? The nukes are there for a reason. Because people that are in charge know what we're talking about and have known it for years. Decades and decades, generations, they've known this. They've known the trajectory for decades. That's why the nukes are there. That's last stop Johnny. That's whoever can win that has a better chance of fucking ruling what's left of the world. If we can't do anything, then why warn people? I didn't start this fucking conversation line. Somebody else did. I'm not out here blaring the alarm bells like they're like telling you to get in your root cellar or whatever the fuck. I'm just talking about what's going on in the world. Isn't that what we're here to do? What is a human being if not a fucking instrument for the universe to look at itself and contextualize what's going on in a piece of it? That's what we are.
Oh man, is it too hot? It's getting sticky out here.
It's starting to. It's just not, like, you got to read about this stuff, man. You got to understand what you're talking about. You really do. It's more than people have led you to believe it is. All right? It's worse than people have led you to believe. And that's all I got to say about that. Sorry to be the doomsayer or whatever, but you know, I'm not trying to make people's fucking day bad, but you want to talk about this fucking subject with me, I'm gonna be honest. You got your freedoms. It's okay. So no. You got your freedoms. You got your freedoms. No. That's okay. You got your freedoms. Very important to keep your freedoms. People just don't understand, dude. I don't get the fucking optimism, man. The optimism is a cancer. Optimistic, fucking head in the clouds, pie in the sky, fucking Candyland bullshit is just, it's just a cancer. It's got people's heads buried in the fucking sand during the collapse. You know what I mean? Whatever. You got your freedoms. How do you look at things optimistically when the temperature in summer gets higher and higher every year, the weather in winter gets worse and worse every year, and all things making that happen just keep continuing? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I have so many strong reservations. Should I go and perform mutilations? Feed me. Well, I mean, think about like what we've been shown over and over again in movies. Think about like the disaster film as a genre, right? What are the underlying cultural implications of a disaster film? Because a lot of people like to look at these types of movies and think, oh, it's just a tub of popcorn film. Dude, our society is obsessed with watching itself be blown up. What do you think that's about? See, I think that, and you guys we're getting way deep into this shit now. I think that humanity as it exists right now, modern humanity has a death urge. This is something that Derek Jensen talks about. I think that modern humanity labors under a death urge. We look around at what we're supposed to live at, and there's an animal inside of us that feels like we're in a fucking cage. And we've got a death urge. We want all of this to end. We hate it. Even those of us that love it and pretend to defend it, there is an animal inside of us that hates this motherfucker. And so we are obsessed with watching it get torn apart in the movies. We love it. Oh yeah, fucking tornado knocks it all away. Fucking tidal wave comes and washes it all away. But the thing is, there's another angle to these disaster films. There's always a hero that saves most of humanity, right? Mitigates the worst of it. Even the people that love this shit hate it. Think about it. People that love our society are constantly what? Railing against other people who they see as fucking destroying it. Even the people that profess to love it hate it. We have a death urge as a civilization. We've been removed so far from the state of limited competition and the state of nature. And we've created this concrete and electronic prison. And everybody's fucking desperate. Everybody hates it deep down. Everybody feels like that they are unfulfilled. Everybody feels like, fuck it, who cares? Everybody's seeking a new distraction, whether it's drugs, alcohol, entertainment, music. Everybody's looking for something to make them forget about what they are and where they're sitting. And that is the outcropping of humans being removed from the state of nature by their technology, humans being fucking railroaded by a system that doesn't consider them other than as units of profit and labor, and everybody hates it. Even the flag waving, eagle fucking sporting, don't tread on me fucking jingoistic patriots hate it. Them probably most of all, because they hold up an unattainable ideal and then look at the rest of the world and think it's the rest of the world that needs to conform to their flag waving jingoism. They don't realize that they've already won that battle. Civilization has a death urge. And when I say civilization, I don't just mean United States civilization. Civilization is global now. And the unrest and the nastiness that you see globally is an outcropping of that. Humanity hates what it's become. Humanity hates what a human life has become. Think about what a human life has become. We hate it. We despise it. Those on top look down at us and they're disgusted. Ugh. We look up at them and we're disgusted. Ugh. We're looking in the wrong direction. We're looking at each other being disgusted when it's really the fucking system that sets this whole thing up. And when I say system, I don't mean democracy. I mean civilization as we know it, as it exists. What do? We die. I'm sorry, Ingrid. You might not die. You might live a full fucking life. Like I said, this is a slow unraveling fucking thing. Human beings will be returned to the state of nature before the end of this. And what we do with it, that's the big question mark, right? I'll be gone. You'll be gone. That's it. Because the only other opportunity, the only other outcome of this is infinite fucking exploitation and infinite growth. It just can't happen. Look up at the top, and those in power, and we're disgusted at their abuses of power, their conglomeration of wealth, their evil, and they look back at us with scorn for our filth and our neediness and our labor. Yep. And really where that scorn lies is with the underlying system that creates that dichotomy. It's the death urge that I'm talking about. That's what people are against, the way things are. The paradigm. That's what's caused all of this. That's what raped the world. It's what turned the Sierra Nevada mountain range, which I should be able to see just by leaning right here because they loom just miles right over here. I can't see shit. If I wasn't from here, I wouldn't even know there are mountains over there. And if I could see them, there'd be no snow on them. We did it. As a young person with my whole life ahead of me, my career dreams that would take 10 plus years are obstructed by the collapse. Instead, I live a relatively stable but hopeless existence as long as I can. And you're a lucky one. I'm a lucky one. Everybody sitting here that's an adult, in my opinion, lucky. This is the last hurrah. Your last chance to see some beauty. Your last chance to fall in love. Your last chance to fucking write a book. Your last chance to express yourself. We live in the burning skyscraper of empire. Your last chance to see something beautiful. Your last chance to travel. Your last chance to fucking do something different than your parents did. Your last chance to make something out of your life for you. Your last chance to do something crazy. Paul, I'm sorry, what did I do to get time now? Don't mention it. I don't know what you did, but that's not a good thing. I just wanted to say I got a new job making tips, doing drag shows. It's a lot of fun to feel like myself. Hey, there you go. So you suck the marrow out of what you can get. Somebody asked earlier, like, what's the point of talking about this? This is the point. This is the point. You feel hopeless? You feel helpless? Good. Good. Now use that to drive your selfish desire to experience, because you're the last fucking crew. You're the last astronaut crew that's going to get to do that. Go see something beautiful. Go see nature. Spend time with your fucking families. Fall in love with somebody. Travel. Chase a dream. Get crazy. Do something stupid. Enjoy your life. Do what you can while you're here. And realize that you will bear witness to the fucking fall. That's your role. It's a shitty role, but an important one, right? Your generation and the generation that comes up after you will bear witness to the fall. If there's a chance that what's left of us at the end of all of this learns the lesson of this civilization and makes something new and better, it rests on you. Huh? Call me a fucking cynic. Call me a fucking doomer. Yeah. If I'm a doomer, what are you? Partying while the fucking world ends. Those are the doomers for me. Me imagining humanity free from this, free from the fucking nastiness that is human life, and return to a state where we can live in fucking relative harmony with the fucking world, that makes me a doomer. Me hoping that the few people that survive learn the lessons of this civilization and don't ever institute this fucking horrible paradigm again, that makes me a doomer. I'm a doomer because I repeat what scientists say about climate collapse, and I read the fucking news about politics and global fucking affairs and watch that unravel. Call me a doomer. I think you're the fucking doomer. How you like that? I think everybody that's getting litty McTitty as the world burns and pretending like it's going to go on for fucking ever, I think you're the doomer. We'll figure it out together, huh? Yeah, okay. All right, buddy. I said take advantage of it personally. I said realize that you bear witness to the end of this shit. Right? That's what I said. I didn't say pretend it's not happening. I didn't say go forward with blithe ignorance of the collapse that's happening around you. I didn't say continue to fucking overtly contribute to it in every way. I didn't say not speak out against it. I said take time to realize that you're one of the last human generations that's going to get to do things like that. Do it. Get crazy. Go chase your dream. We bear witness. People ask me, like somebody asked me earlier, how do you deal with the despair of this position? That's how I deal with it. I bear witness. I stand as a human witness to what we've done to this world. I bear witness to the collapse. I describe it. I talk to people about it. And I leave behind this body of thought. I bear witness. I'm not Superman. I can't put on a cape and fucking spin the world faster and, I can't do that. I bear witness. And that's where I find my comfort. Comfort and powerlessness. That's something that a lot of people have trouble letting go of. They don't like to feel powerless. I embrace my powerlessness. Thought, but what action? What do you think talking to people about this for the last hour is? There's your action. I bear witness. I create a catalog of thought on this topic. I've probably spoken more on this topic than the next 10 people you know. And it's all there for people to see. It's all there. I bear witness. You might say that that's useless. Fine. I bear witness. That's how I deal with despair. I'm here to bear witness to the collapse. My voice still matters. I'm here to see it. I'm here to experience it. I'm here to contextualize it from people. And I'm one of the last human beings that'll see this beauty. What little of it there is left, and I bear witness to it. So say what you want about my politics. Say what you want about what that makes me. Paul, this is sad. You want to see sad? Look at what's going on in the world, bro. Look at the state of humanity. Look at the state of the ecosystems on the planet. Look at what we've done to this place. That's sad. This is just people talking about reality. This is the way things are. That's part of bearing witness, right? Some of us dedicate themselves to excoriating the beauty of what's left. Some of us sing the dirge of what's been lost. Talking about this is such a bummer. It's another thing, too. I'll talk with you guys about this. There are people that say that watching these streams is bad for their mental health. Now, of course, my first admonition for that is if anything is bad for your mental health that's avoidable, you should avoid it, right? Especially things that are not necessary. Like if it's bad for your mental health to talk to people in general, maybe you ought to push yourself to do that. If it's bad for your mental, but if it's bad for your mental health to just sit and listen in your free time to somebody talk, you should go. That being said, I think that there's a problem of perspective, right? I think in those people, there is a problem of perspective. And I, myself, have fallen victim to this whirlpool of, despair. I've been there. I know what it's like to just feel enveloped by that. But if you guys think that that's where I'm coming from when I present this information to you, you're wrong. The way that I dug myself up out of that whirlpool of despair was to start openly talking about it with people, to stop imagining it and to start describing it, contextualizing it. It's one thing to be afraid of something and not know that it's there. It's another thing to face that something and to fear what you know. And that's the choice that I made. That was the big divergence in my life when it came to this type of stuff. That was the big lesson that I learned. The whirlpool of despair, it's necessary to be a part of that. Everybody's a part of that, whether they think they are or not. If you allow yourself to get sucked down into that apex where there's nothing but despair, the only way you crawl out is by describing what you see. You face it like any other fucking problem. It doesn't go away just because you pull your blanket over your head. You face it. Start describing it and you'll climb out. You won't escape it. Nobody gets to. We're all in the fucking whirlpool together. But if you feel trapped and confined by this type of stuff, that's how you climb out. You stop pretending that it's not happening. You stop avoiding talking about it honestly. You start describing it. That's what we do. That's what this does. This fucking big pile of shit that you've got in your skull is a computer. And that's what it does. It contextualizes your environment for you. So do it. Do that. I'll never be popular for talking about this type of shit. There's a Ween song called Don't Get Too Close to My Fantasy. I always think about that. There's a certain strong reaction in a good segment of the populace to the types of things that I talk about. And a desire to be adverse to it, as if arguing with me is going to somehow make the optimistic version of reality come to fruition. But I realized quite some time ago that when it comes to this, what I'm doing here and what I do for a living, it was not my job to be liked. It was not my job to make people feel comfortable and happy all the time. It's my job to be an irritant. It was my job to be an agitator. It was my job to make people feel uncomfortable. And when you do that, you don't make a whole lot of friends. The Anprim tribes of the future. Yeah, dude. Chisel a big fat Buddha-like fucking countenance of me. Whatever. I've got this little Buddha statue that I've had since I was a kid. It's this little wooden carved statue. And I keep it next to me, like right next to me when I do the show. It's on my desk. I've always liked it for some reason. I'm not a Buddhist. But that little dude, there's something about him, man. His vibe is good, you know. Got a good vibe on him. I got him at. I went on a field trip when I was a kid, and we went to the Monterey Bay Aquarium for a field trip. And outside of it, there was like a little street fair going on where people were selling things. And I saw this person selling these little Buddha statues, and they were up like $1.50 or some shit. And so I bought one. Had like $1.50 or whatever. And I brought it home. That was my little souvenir from the trip or whatever. And I've held on to that fucking thing through thick and thin, through I don't know how many different fucking moves and all that shit. That's one of the little things that's followed me. Yeah, I rub his head and I rub his belly. Sometimes. Not often, but usually when I have to pick him up, I have to move him, pick him up and rub his belly. I can go get him. I'll show you guys. Doesn't matter. Maybe next time I'm doing a desktop stream or something, I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. But I guess I do have to go in and get some water here in a minute, so I'll just go grab him. Bring him out here and show you guys what I'm talking about. We'll get to the surprise. There you go, buddy. There you go, buddy boy. Don't get too close to my fantasy. Oh. Don't be afraid to touch the... Oh, buddy. Okay, we're good. Here's my guy. Here's the little Buddha that I keep. You can see he's got some wear and tear on the belly and the top of his head. Yeah, that's the little dude. I don't know what he's made out of. Some kind of wood or resin, maybe. I can't really tell. He's standing there. He's got a nice big belly. Got a big grin on his face. I like him. Well, I've just had him since I was like 8 years old. So That's my dude. That's my guy. That's my Buddha guy. What you think, D? You get some sun? Better enjoy it now because it's about to be nasty out here, buddy. Did you ever name him? No, his name is Buddha. He's just a little Buddha guy. Oh. Budai is commonly mistaken with Buddha. The typical fat Buddha is Budai. Oh, he's Budai. Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to still keep calling him Buddha if that's okay with you. I'm going to go ahead and call him Buddha. I'm going to go ahead and keep mistaking him. Budai. Yeah, he's pretty cool. His little toes, like it's hard to see for you guys probably. But he's got little toes down here that stick out from underneath his robe. I like that. He's got this like bag on his back. See him? He's like carrying a big sack of shit slung over his back. I don't know what he's holding in this other hand. He's holding like a fan, I think, or a palm frond or some shit. And then his ears, he's got those like real droopy ears, like he's got keloids like Vosh. It's all keloided out like Vosh, you know what I mean? I just like him. Dude, I remember I showed this to somebody at one point, and they were like, hey, Paul, that red stuff that's on that Buddha is cancerous. And I was like, well, I guess I got cancer. Like the red stuff they use to stain those Buddhas is a cancer agent or some shit. And I was like, well, I guess the Buddha gave me cancer. Yeah, dude. I'm sucking on this. This is way more likely to get me cancer than the fucking Buddha. Let's be real. Or sorry, Budai. So who worships Budai? Who's that about? Because that's what I want to get into. He's a dude that looks. I look like I could fucking get with whatever he's selling. Chan Buddhism, cool. He looks like a dude I could get with. Offshoot of Mahayana. I see. Have to look into that. Trapped on the tracks. Trapped on the tracks. Got a song stuck in my head. If you like hip hop, listen to DJ Quick, Trapped on the Tracks. That song is dope. Put your headphones on and turn them up too. You need to hear the bass. You need to hear the fucking train sound. Dude, I wish I could play that song right now. That song is fucking great. DJ Quick, Trapped on the Tracks. Trapped on the tracks, trapped on the tracks. A catfish, dude. A kissy bot. Whoa, we haven't had one of those in a while. Goddamn fucking kissy bot. All right, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Bye.